I think the best place to begin is with policy. Policy 3210, which you see on the board, says that an effective educational program requires the services of men and women of integrity, high ideals, and human understanding. To maintain and promote these essentials, the school board expects all professional staff members to maintain high standards in their working relationships. And I think this sums up the work of the Chief of Staff's office, because our office essentially exists to ensure that this occurs. Slide 2, please. I began working as a substitute custodian for EVSC in 1989, and you'll see me battle with these glasses up here tonight. And I became a full-time custodian at Stanley Hall the following year. In 1995, the same year that my oldest daughter was born, I came downtown to work in our maintenance department. And now that daughter is a first grade teacher at Stringtown, and my youngest daughter is about to graduate from North High School. So several years have passed. So what does the Chief of Staff do? A very good question. The Chief of Staff works closely with the superintendent and the leadership team to implement the strategic agenda of the EVSC and the superintendent. Chief of Staff is the operations team leader, HR, facilities, business office, IT, safety and security, and student proceedings. The Chief of Staff is a legal liaison, all contracts, lawsuits, complaints. The union liaison, matters regarding ETA, the Teamsters, contract bus drivers, including all contract negotiations. The Chief of Staff is the keeper and the shepherd of the corporation policy cycle, the revision, the development, the maintenance, as you see week after week, board meeting after board meeting, that we bring policy for your consideration and your adoption. Board meeting agendas. We include the maintenance of board docs in conjunction with Amy Dressel and Julia McDonald, and the inclement weather team. Of all the things that I do, I think this aspect of my job fascinates people the most. Everyone, including news reporters, want to know how the decision gets made to delay or cancel school. Well, tonight, I just thought I'd give it up. After all this secret, I'm going to reveal it. It's been passed down in elaborate ceremonies. I'm going to let you in on it, how that decision gets made. There is no secret. The true secret is that we have a great team of dedicated individuals who understand the weather, transportation logistics, and have a heart that cares for the safety and care of students and staff. And with that, you can't but make the right decision when it comes to that. It would be disingenuous to present this information like it occurs in a vacuum. In fact, just like every great department in our corporation, we have a fantastic team that works hard to ensure that all of this gets done well. Julia McDonald, who is the assistant to the Chief of Staff, is a key member of that team, and without whom I doubt that I could have even made it to this podium tonight. And with that, I'd like to introduce the Deputy Chief of Staff, Katie Elmer.
I am a little hurt that they don't let the woman be on the inclement weather team to drive. I'm a little sore about that, but I'll get over it. Good evening. I started my career in the EVSC in 1982. No, Andy, I'm not that old. That was when I was a kindergartner and I was at Plaza Park. In 2001, I walked through the doors at North High School as a history teacher. In my 18 years as a professional staff member here in the EVSC, I have been a teacher, a head softball coach, a volleyball coach, an assistant athletic director, an assistant principal dean, an assistant principal programmer, the assistant principal at an alternative school, and now the deputy chief of staff. Listed on this slide are my overall job responsibilities. However, I do consider my most important role to be a thought partner to administrators and be accessible to them at all times. For example, in the month of January alone, I received and placed over 400 phone calls to school staff and families. They call me when they need immediate help on matters such as navigating custody issues, disciplinary questions, and those one-off case-by-case incidents that take place every day in a school corporation of 22,000 plus kids. As a sitting dean, I always felt supported when I was able to problem-solve situations with someone who understands the role and the stressors that we handle on a daily basis. Our administrators want to do right by kids. Sometimes they just need another perspective or a new way to facilitate discussions, restorative discussions with students and families. While I'm not currently in a building every day, I feel the numerous conversations I have with schools and families keep me connected to their needs. I'm very thankful, no matter what Dr. Smith and Rick say about Mr. Shoulders, I'm very thankful that we have a great relationship with him and his team, because my job heavily relies on following the law, and his team and Pat always help ensure that we're following both the letter and the spirit of the law. I've learned a lot about school safety, having become a certified advanced school safety specialist and being able to bring back ideas and information from all over the state. Being a mom of 3 children in the EVSC, I want to be deeply involved with ensuring that our schools are safe for all students and staff. And I'm very fortunate to partner with Chief Fleck on school safety and maintaining positive relationships with our local law enforcement agencies. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to Chief Fleck.
Like my colleague, Katie, I'm going to start by talking about my background a little bit, not going back quite to kindergarten, but I thought I'd cover my law enforcement. I was 22 years a sworn officer with the Evansville Police Department, 9 years in patrol, South Sector, second shift. 5 years of that was as a field training officer. I was a certified instructor, and I was on the SWAT team. 2000, I went to Adult Investigations, Violent Crimes Unit, and was there for the remainder of my career for 13 years. The last 12 of that, I was a polygraph examiner, and polygraph is just instrumentation, interview with instrumentation, and that's what I did. I did a lot of talking and typing about it. In my interview for this position, when I learned what EVSC's plans were, it was the position for me. There was no way I was going to accept anything but taking this position. Starting a police department by a school corporation is the best thing EVSC has ever done to ensure safety and security of the kids in the school. Bit of a two-sided coin. The guy they picked may have been able to do a little better than that, but I love my job. I am honored to have been selected to do this job and to continue to be selected to do this job. So with that, we did start in April. I actually swore in at this April meeting in 2013. So it's my 6-year anniversary. I was told there was going to be cake.
Donuts.
We had a lot of things that we were doing in 2013, 2014, both on the safety security side and getting things in line for the police department. We hired our first officer in January of 2016. Within this past year, we have hired 6 additional officers. We currently have 7 school-based officers and me as chief for a total of 8. We got a great relationship with the EPD and the Vanderburgh County Sheriff, and I'll tell you, for that reason alone, that communication reason is reason enough to have a police department within a school corporation. Cops talk to cops, and there's that certain level of trust there that I don't think you would otherwise get. But we also work with Indiana State Police, a little bit with the FBI. They've got kind of resources that when we need them, on a rare occasion, they're the only ones that are going to have that. So juvenile court, prosecutor's office, and central dispatch, that's a big deal there. We listen to that radio, we monitor it. Anything that goes on at any of the 40 schools or in the neighborhood, we can respond to that and get that information out to our schools. I am a certified SRO. All of our officers are or will be certified SROs under the NASRO course. And I'm also, I do school patrols. I was in the school all school day today. They had testing going on. I think I had more anxiety than the kids did being there. I also serve legal papers and notices on the occasion that we have those that Mr. Shoulders issues those. So, next slide. My second area of responsibility is the coordinator of safety and security. I'm a school safety specialist since 2014, as Katie is now, And I'll tell you, a lot of that stuff really falls on her. I'm glad that she's there, and we work well as a team, Rick overseeing it, but it's good to have her there. Provide security for all 40 schools, bus transportation and facilities. I work closely with them. I'm the primary certified ALICE instructor. We've got a total of 5 of them. One of them, David Sinclair, is also an instructor, but I'll instruct every month on ALICE, and you can give ALICE in 30 seconds. It's simply good. It's the tactics used that is going to save your life, the life of your kids, better. The empowerment to make the decision on what you're going to do, what tools you're going to use to save your life, and best, there are no wrong decisions. Doing anything is better than doing nothing at all, and that's what we stress in our ALICE classes. I do coordinate the emergency plans with IDOE. We just recently passed an audit there, and the auditor was very impressed. A school corporation our size basically passed it on the first round of the audit. So he made that clear that was, and here again, Katie helps a whole lot with that. I did write and was awarded 6 grants with Department of Homeland Security. These are matching grants. We used the first 2 or 3 for equipment, front door security, and since then we use it to kind of help pay SRO salaries. Maintain all the radios in the school. Every school has multiple radios. Some schools have radios in every classroom. And we have, at the start of this school year, started making the transition to digital radios. They have to be maintained, purchased, assembled, programmed, and delivered. So it is quite a bit having those radios, but the schools love having them, couldn't operate without them. Surveillance equipment, we're always looking at that and how to improve that and keep that going. And then the Raptor Visitor Management is, it checks for all sexual offenders or any note that we put in there. Every visitor is confirmed that they're safe to be in the school before we allow them in, and Raptor gives us that capability to do that. I'm going to conclude by going back kind of to my law enforcement part, and I did that because if I did it at the end of the law enforcement, I think Rick would have got the hook out and pulled me off. Maintaining a police department that's embedded into a school corporation is a highly unique situation, and it presents challenges to us all the time. And the reason we've been successful, and I believe we have been very successful, is the leadership that EVSC administrators have provided. The 2 chiefs of staff that I've worked under, the superintendent, the leadership has been extraordinary. And I don't think we would be where we are now without that leadership, and you provide that leadership, and I thank you for that.